Tierra encantada, la tierra encantada, tierra encantada, la tierra encantada.
Hey there friends, welcome back to Tierra Encantada. Today's build is all about simplicity, light and scale as we create a habitat for the American flamingo inspired by the real-world wonder of Salar de Uyuni, a place that looks like it doesn't belong on Earth. In this episode I'll walk you through what makes the salt flat so special, how I try to recreate that atmosphere in Planet Zoo, and some fun flamingo facts you might not know. This is one of the more minimalist habitats in the zoo, but honestly it might be one of the most beautiful. Join me. So first, let's talk about what Salar de Uyuni actually is. It's located in southwestern Bolivia at over 3,600 meters above sea level. It is the world's largest salt flat, covering more than 10,000 square kilometers, which is bigger than some countries. What makes it so famous is what happens during the rainy season. A thin layer of water covers the salt crust and turns it into this beautiful, mirror-like surface. Genuinely, the kind of mirror makes it hard to tell where the land ends and the sky begins. Look up some awesome photographs of it. And flamingos really live there. It's one of the few places on Earth where you'll see hundreds of these bright pink birds standing there during breeding seasons. It's kind of magic, it's beautiful, and it is one of the iconic places in South America that I wanted to recreate. That is going to be the goal of this series, is to go around and capture specific places, biomes or locations in the Americas and base an entire habitat on that. So this immediately stood out to me as a unique and striking design. I knew I didn't want to overcomplicate it. It had to be about atmosphere, not detail. So the first challenge was terrain. I knew I needed the flamingos to be able to wade in the water, and because I know if you build it too deep, the flamingos start swimming in the water, and I always think that looks terrible. So I took the flamingo statue, actually the statue, and then just because it's life-sized, same size as the flamingos, I used it to calculate, how high the rock needed to be under the water. The pool itself is a large open space. I used, no differentiations in depth here, and the goal is of course that the bottom of the lake is flat and white, and that the water itself is also flat and white. To create this sort of mirror illusion, I place rocks and scenery objects very low near the water line, and really there's only detail on the guest side, on the side of the shelter. On the far side of the habitat, the water just sort of ends, disappears. It's not an actual infinity pool, but it sort of looks like, it's the horizon. One of my favorite things here is actually you will see me place fog emitters at the very edge of the habitat to really give it this soften the horizon and give it this unique glow and atmosphere. So the foliage is extremely sparse, just some clumps of grasses, and then the salt rocks. Everything else is bare. Creates a feeling of openness and also reflects the kind of space that this is, because this is an area that is very harsh, not very easy for things to live in, and flamingos themselves don't actually live permanently in this environment, because you can imagine that living on a large field of salt isn't the best place to live for an animal, except when all the flamingos gather there for breeding season. So let's talk flamingos. Flamingos are a wading bird in a family that lives both in South Central America, but also Africa and Eurasia. They are one of the most widespread bird species in the world, and they have six species, the greater flamingo, the lesser flamingo, the Chilean flamingo, the James's flamingo, the Andean flamingo, and the American flamingo. And in truth, if I was honest and factual about my animal facts, I wouldn't place the American flamingo in this habitat. The Andean flamingo is very much the flamingo that would gather in Salar de Uyuni during breeding season. The American flamingo does not appear there naturally. It lives in the Caribbean islands, Mexico, it lives in northern Brazil, Venezuela, the Galapagos Islands. They are an iconic species for the state of Florida, even though they don't really occur there naturally anymore these days. Flamingos are a charismatic animal. They are very unique and they are beloved worldwide in zoos and in the wild for their unique shape, a long S-shaped neck, interesting long thin legs, very often standing on one leg, the reasons for which is not fully understood. There's plenty of theories for it. Maybe it's resting their leg, it's maybe to conserve more body heat. There's still no consensus on why they do it, but when you see flamingos, they will very often just be standing there with one leg raised and often their head tucked in on their back. So a really interesting looking animal. They flock in huge, apparently the word for a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance or a stand. Or flock, I've heard flock as well. So huge groups of flamingos gather, and they filter, they wade through the water, disturbing the water and the soil with their feet, and then they will hold their head, their beaks, and they will filter all of the mud and everything out to eat the nutrients that they need. And in fact, flamingos use the nutrients that they naturally eat are also the cause of their coloration. And very often the pinker a flamingo is, the healthier it is and the more of its natural food it is eating. And I remember in zoos very often you'll see flamingos don't have as bright of a featheration plumage as in the wild, and I feel like I remember them eating carrots in zoos or like parts of carrots to look pink. So yeah, awesome animals. American flamingos don't appear in this habitat in the wild, but still, this is the flamingo that the pack gave us, and this is the South American environment that I wanted to emulate. So yeah, really cool animals. Flamingos are not threatened. Well, at least the American flamingo is not threatened. It is of least concern. So yeah, I'm starting off this zoo with a minimalist build, but I think its minimalism is what makes it interesting. It is a very simple concept, just the white and then the browns around it. It is flat, it has these white rocks, and it has I think the coolest effect, the water itself is colored white and the surface beneath it, and then with the pink flamingos wading through it, it's just a very interesting kind of surreal design that I really liked making. This was very quick to build, but I think it really stands out. So what's next in Tierra Encantada, as I have revealed, all 7 of the DLC animals that have been announced will feature in this zoo, and all of them will have an area that is connected to their species and is also an iconic, well-known South American concept, not just South American, just American concept, idea, biome. You'll see. I'll just reveal a little bit. The next area will feature more of a ranch, sort of an abandoned ranch in the Pampas of Argentina. That is the overall concept, and will feature some interesting animals that I will reveal next time around. Guys, I'm really excited to have started this project. As you might have known, Bolo Bolo is in a bit of a pinch right now. I will be live streaming eventually the rebuild of the parts of the zoo that I lost, but in the meantime I will be building Tierra Encantada from start to finish on this channel, and you'll be able to follow along. And it's really been refreshing to break away from the African desert vibe, which I love, but it's a bit limiting to only stick to one idea. And the hope is that this zoo will be diverse and colorful and really be a respectful tribute to these two continents. At this point in time, the Americas pack has been released, and we now know the remaining animals that were not revealed before. They are the bush dog, which I love, and the ocelot. I think they are solid choices, but there is a lingering sense that they are scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of support for Planet Zoo. All of these DLC animals are effectively clones of previous iterations with no real new animations or behaviors, whereas highly requested South American animals such as the Mara, the Kowari, the howler monkey would likely require more work or time than they are willing to put into it. Still, support for this game has gone on for far longer than many would have believed initially, so we are thankful for that. I will say that the construction items from the pack do offer a few items that I am retrospectively placing into my zoo. You will see them appear in cinematics here and there, and I think also I will dive in after recording is done and add another 25 or 50 flamingos or so in here, just to really emulate the feel of a giant flamboyance of them gathering. This has been a blast to build, but I promise the best is yet to come.
Tierra Encantada.